Hello, welcomes back everyone, and Forth here with even more Star Wars The Old Republic, playing as Vaedren here, my Imperial Agent, and we are on the world of Hoth. We're here outside of Dawn Base, about to move into High Mount Ridge, but we still need to move over and find Admiral Davros and his expedition. We've heard that the expedition is already underway and we're going to be trying to catch up, but we're going to go to the launch site and then see what his route is going to be. Before we get started, I did have a quick switch over to the engineering discipline, and it looks like we have a ton of probes. We have an explosive probe, which switches over from ambush. We have an interrogation probe, a plasma probe, and then finally we have the EMP discharge. So, it seems like we have a good mix of both AoE abilities and single target as well. We still have our suppressive fire, we still have our orbital strike. But it seems like we can use a interrogation probe, which deals damage over time, kind of clings to a single target. We have a plasma probe, which also deals damage over time, but in a group. Both of these abilities slow targets as well. And then once you have an interrogation probe and a plasma probe on a target, if you use EMP discharge, yeah, this deals so much damage the target's affected by your interrogation probe, but also stuns the enemy if they're affected by our plasma. So we could, in essence, with a group, either suppressive fire and orbital strike them, or basically hit them with a plasma probe and an EMP discharge. I don't know what would be best. And of course, for a single target, we just throw every single probe onto a target. Yeah. Give it a go. I don't know what kind of rotation would be best, but we can certainly see how it works. Well, let's move on to the launch site and go from there. Orbital Strike is an ability that you automatically get as an engineering sniper. So we got to choose our ballistic shield to give us that 20 seconds of extra 20% damage reduction. I found it rather handy. I think we're meant to use Fragmentation Grenade a bit more to deal damage to groups of enemies as well. How does EMP discharge, I believe, can be reset? Also, we have something called... We have targeting systems now, rather than... So, guarantees a critical hit for our next explosive probe, but it also gives us systems upgrade, which increases damage done by all our combat probes by 10%. So I'm guessing all of these classify as combat probes. Yeah, killing an enemy resets explosive probes cooldown. It might be worth always having... Actually, our enemies probably won't survive more than 20 seconds. Apart from... Actual players will survive longer than 20 seconds, but groups of enemies won't. I was just wondering if we should try and make our... I mean, this has a long cooldown, though. before reactivating. How could we lower the cooldown? Killing enemies while systems upgrade is active resets the cooldown. Okay, perfect. That works out nicely. Kill enemies while targeting systems is on cooldown, and it resets it. Perfect.
Packed and ready, Admiral. Unless you're worried about the captain's flare.
No. We cannot wait.
Intruder alert.
Is this how they're supposed to react?
Officer, I am Admiral Davos, commander of this expedition. You were not expected.
Cipher 9, Imperial Intelligence.
An intelligence agent? Of course. You must excuse our caution. Hoth is not a world that forgives mistakes, a lesson that scarred me long ago.
Weapons down, everyone.
We are in the midst of a delicate operation. These men are preparing to follow me to the starship graveyard.
The Minister of Intelligence says I'm to assist your men and ensure the interests of the Empire.
I see. Months ago, I could have accommodated this. Now, I'm afraid we approach the crisis point, and I cannot afford additional risk. Commander, torture him and find out what he knows, then kill him.
Oh!
All right, make me look good.
The Admiral did not want intelligence involved, it seems. This may not have something to do with the Empire. This might be a personal project. I wonder if we had have asked to get in on his scheme, he might have felt more obliged. I still don't think he would have trusted us. Anyhow, so who's communicating with us?
You live. It is good. Don't bother returning to base. Captain Firth is gone, and Admiral Davos bribed most of the others.
Admiral Davos just tried to kill me. What's going on?
No time. Transmission breaking up. There is a location beyond the frozen lake. You'll find answers. Coordinates sent.
Have you been watching me?
We've been watching the sensors. Picked up blaster fire and assumed things had gone wrong. For the glory of the Ascendancy.
Huh. Strange. As if it seems the Chiss are playing a bit more of an active role here on Hoth than we expected. For the glory of the Ascendancy. I wonder if they know what the Admiral's up to. They want us to meet outside of Dawn Base. Sounds like more, that sounds like right up our alley. You know, subterfuge. Secret meetings. There's some Ortolans here. The blue elephants. We'll be meeting more of them before long. Oh, in a heroic area. Ooh, yeah, Chiss Commando. A Chiss base of operations. Away from Imperial operations. Interesting. Well, I'm certainly intrigued, that's for sure.
No wind chill down here. Start a few fires and we'll call it home.
Sir, sorry for not contacting you sooner. No one thought Admiral Davos's men would actually start shooting. Ensign Rena Temple, Chiss Expansionary Defense Force. Welcome to Zero Station.
Since I arrived on Hoth, I've been lied to, marked for death, and nearly frozen. I want an explanation.
I plan to give you one, sir. Along with a heating pack. You do look a bit chilled. This is a top-secret Chiss Ascendancy installation. Self-sufficient, running in parallel with the above-ground outposts. Paranoia at work.
But our paranoia paid off.
And this is our base commander, Aristocra Saganu.
It's an honor to have you with us, despite the situation with Admiral Davos. Welcome home.
You've had this hidden base all along.
Zero Station was originally a deep space listening post. When the war came to the Hoth system, we kept it a secret. It served the Defense Force well. No Imperial has ever set foot inside.
Isn't she Imperial?
I'm not at liberty to discuss Ensign Temple's situation. Suffice it to say, she is a valued member of our unit.
Perhaps we should move on. The mission?
My agents have been watching Admiral Davos for months. We became suspicious when he brought in his own crew, officers loyal to him, and covered it with bribes. Lately, he brought heavy equipment and guns, built an army for his expedition to the Starship Graveyard. You threatened his control.
A career admiral doesn't commit treason out of the blue.
He must be after the Graveyard's salvage, prototype technology, military databanks. It could make him unimaginably wealthy. I won't proceed without Imperial sanction. Grant it, and we can stop Admiral Davos and his plans together.
I'm in. What's our next move?
The White Moor pirates control the wastelands between here and the Starship Graveyard. The Admiral's been sending his people out there for weeks.
My scouting party caught them burying some sort of supply caches. We don't know what the Admiral's caches are for. But if you could get us reconnaissance scans, they might give us a lead on the man himself.
These drop points, any ideas at all?
Emergency supplies, deliveries to the pirates. We just don't know.
These are the drop point locations. Contact me when you get the scans, and we'll find our man. Chiss honor.
Huh.
Yes? How can I help you?
Can I help you, sir?
These Chiss and Ensign Temple are awfully polite. They've had this base long before the Republic and the Empire were here, fighting over the Starship Graveyard. And since Admiral Davos has been bringing in a crew loyal to himself, the Chiss have been keeping an eye on his activities, it seems. We do have a codex entry on, the Chiss Expansionary Defense Force. Considered the main military power within the Chiss Ascendancy, charged with protecting its borders, exploring space outside the Ascendancy proper, and assisting with Imperial military operations. The Defense Force maintains ground, air, and space-based divisions, but it's not intended to operate on Chiss soil. Internal security and home-world ground defense are assigned elsewhere. The Chiss believe that the Defense Force personnel are the best trained and most disciplined soldiers in the galaxy, and this claim holds some merit. They are held to an incredibly high standard of physical fitness and mental acuity. Imperial analysts point out, however, that these standards can only exist so long as the Chiss avoid the attrition inherent to protracted, long-scale conflicts. True. with, if they started losing a lot of their officers in prolonged conflict, their quality would start to suffer. So, we've been advised, probably to move into High Mount Ridge and look into these buried caches left by Admiral Davros. Try to discover why they've been left. You'd think that they might have been left there by scouts for the expeditionary force, so that they could supply while en route. But I guess that's not the case. Either way, we'll take a bit of a journey. We haven't really got into a great deal of combat, apart from some of our own. So we can't really say how effective the engineering sniper is so far. But we'll certainly give it more of a shot. It seems there's a lot of setup for setting up the probes. Because this probe doesn't actually activate until the target takes damage. But I suppose if you have time to set up all your skills, then you will do a lot of damage. Maybe it's like use your explosive probe followed by your fragmentation grenade to detonate the explosive probe, and then go into your other probes and your EMP discharge, perhaps. We'll travel along this iced-over road, get ourselves into High Mount Ridge. I think once again we'll just do a fairly short part to the series. And then we'll look into improving Imperial interests by speaking to Captain Revar within their left outpost. We'll leave the caches for another part in the future. You can see the beginning of High Mount Ridge. We've got the power substations just in front of us. Some map. Okay, so the buried caches, or at least the first one, is here, just south of left outpost. There's probably either more within the glacial fissure, or maybe there's more caches up along the route. The Republic have a base of operations kind of here, within the glacial fissure. And obviously this is their main road. But for both Republic and Imperial players, you're kind of around this section here, which is where the Whitemore pirates are. Whitemore pirates are heavily situated. Either way, get ourselves into the base. To have a look at this.
Honestly now, what do you two think of the Chiss? Creepy, right?
Very. They're like ghosts. There one moment, gone the next. And those eyes. I didn't think this planet could get any colder until I caught one of them staring at me.
I don't know, I find their women rather exotic.
Unless you want to wake up with a knife in your back, I'd stay away from that lot.
Yeah. By the way, would you like to continue that conversation with a Chiss? It may not go over so well. There's Captain Revar, of course. Seems we have a lieutenant who would like to have a word. And a corporal who is offering a heroic mission. As I say, if we continue through left outpost, we would end up going into the glacial fissure. Of course, we could go over the outpost and achieve the same effect, but either way, we'll take a break here. Thank you all for joining me once again with even more Star Wars The Old Republic. As I say, a short part, short and sweet, giving us a bit more story, and when we come back, we'll look into helping out with the Whitemore pirates here in this region, and then we'll look into these supplies that have been buried in the ice and snow. Until then though, as always, feel free to leave a comment if you so wish, and hopefully I'll see you for even more next time. Until then though, take care. Bye bye now.